Walk down history number 6. What we're going to do now is revisit Migdal Bavel. On the timeline, 1,996 years into creation, the entire earth spoke how many languages? Well, chapter 11, verse 1, Vayihi kol haaretz safa achas. The entire earth was one language. Rashi, quoting the Medrash, tells us, which language was that? Oh, Lashon HaKodesh. Now, how do we translate the words Lashon HaKodesh? Lashon HaKodesh, we know, is biblical Hebrew, but what's the exact translation? Lashon means tongue or language. Kodesh means, well, yes, it does mean holy, but let's look at what Chazal tell us the word Kodesh means. Kodesh means mufresh, muvdal. Parshas Kedoshim, famous Ramban, Perek Yotes in Vayikra. Kodesh means separate, set aside. So let's figure this out. Is Kodesh just make something different or totally unique? Shabbos Kodesh, a different day of the week or totally different? Am HaKadosh, a different nation? Or Am HaKadosh actually means mufresh, muvdal, set aside, completely unique, one of a kind. You see, Kodesh means a category of its own, shared by none other. Unique means one of a kind. So Lashon HaKodesh actually means the only language. Hakel HaKadosh, correctly translated, really means the only power. El means power, Kadosh means only, one of a kind. Hakel HaKadosh really means you're the only power. Am HaKadosh means you're the only nation. There are 70 plus nations, but no, you're the only nation in a specific context. Asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, because you selected us from all the other nations. So we're mufresh, muvdal, set aside, we're completely different. It's a category of its own. And therefore, Lashon HaKodesh really means the only language. Now, how does that make sense? The time of Migdal Bavel is 70 languages, but today you've got over 6,000, counting all the different dialects. So what do you mean it's the only language? There are two aspects in which Kodesh, as applied to Lashon HaKodesh, is unique. Lashon HaKodesh is unique in two ways. Number one, what came first? The universe or Lashon HaKodesh? Which came first? Physical existence or HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaking words? Vayayim Hashem yehi or, when Hashem said let there be light, vayehi or, in that moment there was light. Oh, so what created the light? The word or. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu pronounced the word or, that's what created light. Oh, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Aleph base, created the words that are made out of the Aleph base, and with those words spoke, Baruch She'amar v'haya olam. We bless you, Hashem. Why? Because you spoke, you said, v'haya olam, and then the universe existed. Oh, ba'asara ma'amaris nivra ha'olam. The entire universe was created by 10 statements. Oh, so Lashon HaKodesh created reality. Still does. Number two, it's the mother tongue of all languages. There's an excellent book on the subject of Lashon HaKodesh, its history, its Kedusha, and the Hebrew part of it by Rabbi Reuven Chaim Klein. I strongly recommend it as an excellent resource on the subject and much more research. In the meantime, we're going to look at how it's the mother tongue of all languages, because at Migdal Bavel, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu confounded the languages and split them into 70 nations, we're going to see, was it that there's 70 different languages, or can we actually trace how they originate in Lashon HaKodesh? And the Lashon HaKodesh is the original mother tongue from which all the 70 languages are actually different permutations of the soundings, of phonetics of the word, but originally it really is from Lashon HaKodesh. So that's the part we're going to actually focus on right now as the story of Migdal Bavel unfolds and HaKadosh Baruch Hu confounded their languages so that they started with one language and now spoke 70. Oh, that originates from Lashon HaKodesh. Let's see if we can demonstrate that in English. That English originates from Lashon HaKodesh, like all other languages. Let's check that out. So, ladies and gentlemen, how do you translate this word? Prat. Well, in English, an element, a detail. What else? What's another word in English for prat? Oh, part. Oh, so if you read it like this, how would you read it? Oh, part. That's pretty clear. What does shoresh mean in English? Well, shoresh is it's the root of something. Okay, good. What's another word for root? Oh, source. Oh, so if you read it like this, how would you read it? Source. Oh, very good. How about, this is one of my favorites, fruit. Paris. Oh, we can see that. That's really obvious. Oh, if you read it like this, how would you read it? Paris. Oh, it's fruit. You see, this is not just cute. It comes to a point where a mathematical probability, which reoccurs again and again and again the same way, switches from probability to impossibility. What are the chances that when you throw a die, it lands on a 6? Well, 1 in 6. What are the chances you throw it a second time that it will still land on a 6? Still 1 in 6. And the third time, also 1 in 6. Oh, but what happens if 3, 4, 5, 6, 700, 800, 900 times it lands on 6 every time? There comes a point where you say the probability is not 1 in 6 because someone has designed it this way that it always lands on a 6. That's impossible. Then it switches from mathematical probability to impossibility. Once it switches to impossibility, you're forced to point fingers to design. Someone has fixed the die to always fall on the 6. So we're going to look at a number of examples in Lashon HaKodesh where the English word is derived from this perfect language, the only language that's the mother tongue of all other languages. Let's look at a few other examples. What does shekel mean? Well, shekel is a coin. How do you measure the value of any coin throughout history? Oh, you measure it. How do you measure it? On a scale. Oh, so figure this out. It's measured on a scale. Now, what is a scale? So, based on Sefer Yetzirah, which helps us understand that there are 5 groupings of the oisius. And they belong, each group, to a part of the mouth. So you've got gutturals like chaf and ayin, kuf. You have certain letters like base, pei, mem, which require the closing of your lips. There are 5 groups of all the oisius. And once we understand that, you will also know that they are interchangeable because they are phonetically almost the same sound, like kuf and kaf. In this particular case, kuf and kaf are interchangeable. Rashi brings this, that seichel and scale are synonymous. Why? Because what is your seichel? What is your mind doing every waking moment of your life? Your mind is constantly measuring. It's putting on the scale what you're focusing on, what you're looking at, what you're hearing, what you're sensorially interacting with. So that your mind is constantly evaluating, what should I focus on? Is this of value to me? Does this make any sense? Oh, so scale and seichel are really intertwined. Now, here's a question. Where do you go to develop your mind? Oh, you go to school. Oh, so if you read it like this, how would you read it? Oh, school. Oh, very good. Because in school, you learn the distinctions, discrimination between subtle differences, comparisons of similarities, contrasting differences, so that you develop your mind to be able to analyze, see those subtle discriminations. Oh, and you go to school so that you develop your seichel, which is really a scale, and hopefully when you come out of school, what do you graduate with? Well, hopefully, you come out with a very good, a skill. Oh, coincidence? We're not finished yet. What does this word mean? Kol. Oh, kol is a voice. Very good. What do you do with your voice? Oh, you call out. Oh, what does aish mean? It's fire. Oh, and what does fire reduce everything to? Oh, ash. Oh, very interesting. Let's have another look at a few other examples. Are you starting to get the picture? What does boilet mean? Well, boilet means to protrude. Okay, what's another word for protrusion? When a person overeats, their stomach feels bloated. Oh, bloat. Boilet. Bloat. Oh, interesting. You see, what we're playing with over here is, it's not a cute game. We're showing you that there are words in Lashon HaKodesh that when you switch the permutation, you come out with another sounding word, which you wouldn't see in Lashon HaKodesh. You don't see bloat there, but bolet, oh, it's the exact phonetics, the exact same oh, interesting. And that helps us understand how Lashon HaKodesh is the original tongue of even English. Oh, here's an interesting word, mefunuk. Mefunuk has the 3-letter root, phonic. Oh, interesting. In English, when you say someone is finicky, what a strange word. What do you mean by that? Mefunuk, finicky. Oh, finicky. Oh, yeah. In English, it's spelled like this, and it's pronounced finicky. Oh, it's right in the words. Question. What is therapy? Therapy is, well, in the dictionary, it's a form of healing. Oh, interesting. How do you say healing in Lashon HaKodesh? Well, look at this word. Therapy. Oh. Can you see therapy? Therapy when you're healing someone. Oh, interesting. It gets to a point where the coincidences are too frequent, too many, to avoid coming to the conclusion, hey, someone made it this way. When you use the word dull in reference to a person, you're referring to poverty. But what type of poverty does dull actually refer to? It's referring actually to the mind, the worst poverty of all. And that doesn't mean unintelligent or slow. It simply means dull in the mind means poor thinking. Looking at Hashem's perfect, beautiful world and looking at it as negative. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to look at it in a beautiful way. A dull mind. Oh, I wonder where that comes from. In fact, I'm wondering where the word dull comes from, because a doll has no mind. It's completely dull. Oh, interesting. You see, start playing with the words, you start noticing how many words are actually related in English to Lashon HaKodesh. What is a hedyot? A hedyot is an idiot. Oh, where does idiot come from? Oh yeah, a person who can't think well. See, hey is almost a silent letter. Hedyot, you can hear the idiot inside it. Keep moving. You haven't seen nothing yet. Ladies and gentlemen, what does Mara mean? Well, Mara is appearance. That's correct. Where do you look to check your appearance? Oh, in a mirror. Oh, interesting. A mirror. Oh, where does that come from? Oh, Mara. Coincidence or design? We're looking at the original language which created reality and all the mother tongue of languages. What does inui mean? Well, inui nefesh means to like oppress, really hurt someone. In English, what's another word for hurting? Oh, frustrate someone. What's another word? Annoy. Oh, noi. Oh, very good. You see, how do you ignore so many words? Well, so many? How many? Well, there's a book called The Word by Isaac Moseson, from Jew, linguist, the dictionary that reveals the Hebrew source of English. He only has in here 14,000 examples. Oh, once you know how phonetics work, meaning there's certain letters, D, T, da, 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 they're very similar, like kuf and kaf. Mem and nun are not that dissimilar in the soundings. Once you understand which parts of the mouth certain letters come from and they're interchangeable, you realize how many letters inside many, many words are almost exactly the same sounding. What's the English term for the alphabet? Alphabet. Oh, interesting. Coincidence or design? It even goes with spelling. You see, you have to understand, language is kind of liquid. It changes over time. So, for example, if you ask an English child who's not great at spelling, like myself, how do you spell laugh? Oh, that's easy. It's L-A-R-F. Okay. Ask a Brooklyn boy. That's easy. L-A-F-F. And unfortunately, I might get a scar across my work. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Oh, sorry, Mara, sorry, Rabbi. How do you spell love? This way, of course. Oh, of course, right. Laugh? This is rational. This makes no sense. Where does this come from? Well, personally, I think whoever invented the English spelling was severely learning disabled. But let's not go there right now. Well, actually, laugh, or laugh, is a German original word. Well, I'm not sure about the original part. Laug is German. Laug. Oh, interesting. When you, in Lashon HaKodesh, biblical Hebrew, say mocking someone, oh, laug. Laug. Laugh. So once you understand how the phonetics of words are broken up, can be reconstructed based on the similarity or the letters that are interchangeable, you now have so many permutations. It becomes so clear that language are really founded upon Lashon HaKodesh. the same Isaac Mosam, he came out with a separate book, pretty thorough. It's called The Origin of Speeches. He's got charts in here of 52 languages, where he goes through one word in all 52 languages and shows you that when you're listening to the most pronounced parts of the word, you'll come up with the 2 or 3 letter root of Lashon HaKodesh. Example, regular. Regular. Ra, ga, la. Oh, ra is a resh. Ga is a gimel, lamed, la is a lamed, regel. Oh, what do you do with your feet? What do you do with your legs? Oh, you learn to stand and then walk and then eventually regulate your pace. Regel, regular. Oh, interesting. One last example, but you can check these books out yourself. Direction. Just play the same rule. What are the most pronounced parts of direction? Da, ra, k. Oh, da, dalad, ra, Reish, derech. Oh, derech, direction, journey. Oh, this is the beauty of Lashon HaKodesh. And when you help children realize that at Migdal Bavel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu split Lashon HaKodesh into 70 permutations, so it feels and seems like 70 separate languages, because they really are, but in their origin, it's really Lashon HaKodesh. My favorite example is the following. If it's really true that at Migdal Bavel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu confounded 70 nations into 70 separate languages, there must be 1 or 2 words or a phrase that remained in every language almost exactly the same pronunciation. If you're going to look for anything that remained in Swahili, Swedish, German, Russian, English, French, Spanish, Italian, are you going to look for a phrase or a word that is so common or so uncommon, so unique, almost impossible, and that's why it remained the same pronunciation in almost every language? What's the most impossible thing to do? It's not a trick question. What's the most impossible thing to do? Think Harry Potter. Herschel Potterovich. Think magic. Oh, when you want to create something from nothing, no human being can do that. Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu can create something from nothing. Oh, so in the world of magic, what's the expression used to create something from nothing? Oh, abracadabra. What's the origin of abracadabra? Well, look at how it's spelt in Lashon HaKodesh. When you put an aleph in front of a word, what does it do to the verb? It makes it first person future. Ebara, I will create. Ka'eda bera, as I will speak. Claim Sefer Yetzirah, written by none other than Avram Avinu, according to most. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu said the first word, Bereshis, that was the first of the 10 Mamaros, he Kaviyachol first said, Kaviyachol in his mind, what he was about to do. And in 2 words described what was about to happen. Ebera ke'edabera. I will create as I will speak. Because what created reality? HaKadosh Baruch Hu's speech, words, the aleph base. Oh, where does this come from? Abracadabra? Is it Disney? No! It's design. So ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, is Lashon HaKodesh just another language? Or is it Kodesh? Mufresh, Mufdal, unique, set aside completely in its own category. Is it just another language, or is it the origin of creation and the origin of all languages? You've heard the evidence, and the verdict is your choice.